Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the Blue Collar Connoisseur Club podcast, and we thank you again for tuning in wherever and whenever you are watching. So, today, guys, we are at Livingston FC. So, we're at the home of the Setfair Arena, which is located in Livingston, West Lothian, in Scotland. So, today's match will be Livingston against Motherwell. Livingston do currently sit at the bottom of the Scottish Premiership, and they are only 3 points behind their closest competitors, Kilmarnock, who are actually playing Aberdeen today at the same kick-off time of 3 o'clock. So I'm pretty sure one eye from all the Livy faithful will be on that result also. So today we will be attending the Livingston Motherwell match, and we have booked into the hospitality at the Fermenti Suite. So for today's game, that was £95. Now, for that £95 gets you entry into the game. It also gets you a 3-course meal. Entry is anywhere between 2 and 3 hours before kickoff, with the meal served just after 1 o'clock. You do get a complimentary drink and a free programme as well, and also you do get half-time refreshments for that, as well as after the game. You do get man of the match and player interviews as well, with the day terminating round about 6 o'clock this evening. So, as usual in Scotland, the weather is not great, but it is January in Scotland, so we will see what happens, and hopefully we can get some good footage of the game and also of the hospitality suite as well. So entry for the hospitality is through the main entrance, and obviously the seating will also be in the main stand as well. So apart from that, guys, we will take you over to the hospitality section, which will be the mainstay of today's episode. And then, as usual, a wee bit later on, we will do a small history corner. Now, Livingston are going to see if someone will be available for us to do the history corner for us. If it's not possible, then we will just do it ourselves as we normally do. But hopefully someone will be available to give us a wee chat. So, for now.
Right, guys, so first of all, we will start off with our history corner. So we will jump over to the cut screen and we will see you very soon. Right, guys, it's time for the history corner section of our Livingston Football Club episode. So where shall we begin? So Livingston Football Club, as we know it today, began in 1943 as Ferrante Amateurs. This is how they do get the name for the hospitality suite, the Ferrante Suite. Now, this was a works team of the Ferrante Engineering Company. They initially played in the Edinburgh FA Amateur Second Division. In 1948, the club became known as Ferrante Thistle and began competing in the Edinburgh and District Welfare Association, where they competed for 5 seasons before moving to senior football in 1953, joining the East of Scotland League. During this period, the club won the East of Scotland Qualifying Cup in 1963, and in 1969 the club moved to the City Park ground in Edinburgh. Now, shortly after, in 1972, the club did become a member of the SFA, which is the Scottish Football Association, which allowed them to enter the Scottish Qualifying Cup, which they won in 1973, which this cup previously had not been open to them. The club's first match in the Scottish Cup was on the 16th of December 1972 against Duns, and in 1974, as a result of the demise of the Great Third Lanark 7 years earlier and the new three-tier format of the Scottish Football League, a place opened up in the second division. After beating off competition from Highland League sides Hawick, Royal Albert and Gateshead United, Ferrante Thistle were accepted into the league by a vote of 21-16 over Inverness Thistle. The club faced a number of obstacles before they could join the division, as their name itself did not meet stringent SFA rules over overt sponsorship of teams at the time, and the city ground itself was not up to standard. The local council offered the use of Meadowbank Stadium, which was a brand new stadium built in 1970, so very modern for the time. After the Edinburgh Evening News campaign to find a name for the club, the name Meadowbank Thistle was chosen. This was approved by the SFA in time for that new season. So from 1974, they were known as Meadowbank Thistle. Having had little time to form a squad for the senior leagues from the existing Ferrante squad, the first Meadowbank Thistle manager, John Bain, faced an uphill task to produce a competitive squad in time for the new season. Meadowbank played their first competitive match in the League Cup, eventually losing 1-0 to Albion Rovers. In 1983, the club achieved promotion to the First Division, but ultimately were relegated back to the Second Division at the end of the 1984-1985 season. In the 86-87 season, Meadowbank won the Second Division Championship and won promotion to the First Division again. This time they finished runners-up in the First Division in the following season, but were denied promotion to the Premier Division due to the league reconstruction. Many teams over the years have fell foul of league reconstruction, and I'm sure many more in the future will also. The part-time club began to struggle, and it became a limited company in 1993, but was relegated a short time after at the end of the 92-93 season to the Second Division. Meadowbank suffered a second relegation in 94-95, finishing second from bottom in the Second Division, and due to the creation of a Third Division, were relegated. After this, Chairman Bill Hunter claimed Meadowbank had run into severe financial difficulties and were facing closure as a result. In the face of significant opposition from many Meadowbank fans, who objected to the dropping of the club's name and the team moving from Edinburgh, in 1995, Meadowbank Thistle relocated to a new stadium in the new town of Livingston, where we currently are at the moment, and changed their name again to Livingston Football Club. Now, the Almonvale Stadium itself was a brand new stadium, built purely for attracting a football team from the Livingston Development Council at the time. They were trying to regenerate the town and give it a bit more of a standing. So this was a major bonus for them. So from 1995, we have our Livingston Football Club as we know it today. In the first season, as Livingston, they were crowned champions of the Third Division, which was the 1995-96 season. 3 years later, 98-99, they won promotion again as Second Division champions. Another promotion followed in 2000 to 2001 season, when the club finished champions of the First Division and gained promotion to the Scottish Premier League, or the SPL. Just 6 seasons after the relocation to Livingston, Livingston's first SPL campaign in 2001 to 2002 season brought more success as they finished third in the league, behind the Old Firm, the Rangers and Celtic teams of the early 2000s, and qualified for the UEFA Cup for the very first time. Jim Leishman's side gave a competent showing in the UEFA Cup. Could not spit that out there for love nor money. After disposing of FC Vaduz of Liechtenstein on the away goal rule after a 1-1 draw, they came up against Sturm Graz of Austria. And after a 14-goal two-leg affair, they missed out on the second round, going out on the wrong side of an 8-6 aggregate scoreline. The club avoided relegation the following season, finishing 9th. After the season, manager Jim Leishman became the club's director of football and was replaced by Brazilian manager Marcio Maximo, who resigned only a few months into the following campaign and was in turn replaced by Leishman's former assistant Davy Hay. Under Hay's management, Livingston won the first national trophy in 2004 by winning the 2003-2004 League Cup after a 2-0 win over Hibernian at Hampden Park. The goals in the final were scored by Derek Lilly and Jamie McAllister. The club's rise was short-lived, as they were plunged into administration on the 3rd of February 2004. It was the 13th of May 2005 before Livingston emerged from administration, following a period of financial turmoil, in which the previous boardroom occupants were ousted to make way for Percy Flynn's Lionheart Consortium. Flynn's first decision was to sack Davy Hay, stating that he wanted a younger man in charge, and to that end appointed Alan Preston as the club's new manager. While Preston's team as a Livingston manager started brightly with a 3-0 win over newly promoted Inverness Caledonian Thistle, the club failed to win another league game under his management, resulting in his dismissal in November. With the club rooted to the bottom of the SPL, Richard Gough succeeded Preston and steered the club to survival on the last day of the season with a 1-1 draw against Dundee that relegated Dundee in their place. But Gough refused to stay as manager past the end of that season due to family problems and returned to the US. And former Celtic player Paul Lambert succeeded him on the 11th of February 2006. Lambert resigned as Livingston manager after 7 straight defeats, leaving Livingston once again bottom of the Scottish Premier League. He was replaced by former player and coach John Robertson. Despite his best efforts, Livingston were relegated for the first time in May 2006, after only picking up 18 points that season. It was the worst record since the SPL began, and was only beaten during the 2007-2008 season by Gretna, after they were deducted 10 points for going into administration. A poor showing in the 2006-07 First Division saw John Robertson removed as Livingston manager on the 15th of April 2007. His successor was announced on the 22nd of May 2007 as former Hibernian assistant coach Mark Proctor. Proctor appointed Curtis Fleming as his assistant on the 26th of June 2007, but were both sacked in June 2008. After a disappointing season in which they finished 7th, Livingston were taken over that summer by Italian majority shareholders Angelo Massoni and Tommaso Livingston, Tommaso Bruno, Alexandro Di Mattia and Tommaso Anglini, after Piers Flynn sold his shares in June 2008. The Italians were thought to be close to appointing fellow Italian Roberto Landi as head coach in June, as he was made manager of the First Division side. And he was made manager of the First Division side on the 11th of June 2008. And his assistant, Valtteri Berlini, were then fired on the 1st of December 2008, after just 5 months in charge. Paul Hegarty was linked with the job on the 3rd of December 2008 and formally appointed 2 days later. Hegarty was subsequently suspended as manager in April 2009 and his contract allowed to expire. John Murphy was appointed head coach on the 30th of June 2009. The same day the club faced a deadline to pay debt to West Lothian Council, who owned Almondvale Stadium. After that was not met, legal proceedings were carried out against the club to come to an agreement over the debt within 14 days, or potentially face going into administration once again. Livingston were placed into administration on the 24th of July 2009 by the Court of Sessions in Edinburgh, and faced relegation to the 3rd Division, a points deduction, or being removed from the Scottish Football League entirely. On the 27th of June 2009, it was revealed that the club were likely to go into liquidation after the owners said he would refuse a £25,000 offer for the club from their administrators. On the 28th of July 2009, Massimone yet again refused the offer, and the administrators subsequently started the liquidation process. While Livingston seemed doomed, a meeting with the Scottish Football League on the 30th of July 2009 secured their future, as they agreed to allow prospective new owner Gordon McDougall and Neil Rankin, part of the Livingston 5 consortium, to run the club for the following season. The next day, Massimone sold his shares to the new owners and left the club. And it was also announced that John Murphy had been appointed back to his previous role as goalkeeping coach, with ex-player Gary Boland becoming his new club's manager. In the first game after the owners took over, Livingston were on the wrong end of a cup shock in the Scottish League Cup first round, losing 3-0 to that team again, Albion Rovers, a team 2 divisions below them at the time. Despite the prospective new owners ensuring that Livingston's future as a professional football club would be secured for the next year, and leased by paying £720,000 bond to the SFL, on 5th of August 2009, the Scottish Football League took the unprecedented move to demote Livingston to the 3rd Division. Since that last demotion, Livingston have been up and down the leagues, predominantly in the Scottish Championship, but they have made more appearances back in the Scottish Premiership as well. Currently this season, they are not having the best of seasons and are currently sitting bottom, not too far behind Kilmarnock. So again, there is still plenty of time of this season to run, and they will be looking to fight all the way. Their current manager, Davy Martindale, has been in charge of the club as manager for some number of years now, and in fact, just in the last day or so, well, the last kind of week, from the podcast actually being released, It's just been the last day or so since we've been recording that David Martindale stepped down as manager, and they have appointed Marvin Bartley as the new manager. And Davy Martindale, for his services, has moved upstairs as director of football. So again, the club will have its tribulations and trials going forward, but hopefully they can come through and remain a Scottish Premiership club, and hopefully we can return for more hospitality at a later date. Right guys, the moment you've all been waiting for, here is our review of the hospitality day and a little bit for the match as well. So your matchday hospitality at Livingston does start off with you making your way round to the main entrance, where you are provided with your lanyard and your match ticket for the day. You're then shown up into the Formente Lounge or boxes. We are in the Formente Lounge today. It is very well decorated, very modern. When you arrive, you do have your matchday programme on the table, as well as a pre-ordered drink. You're then also given your menu for the day, which you have already given your meal selections. Around the lounge there are some signed memorabilia, which will be given out to matchday sponsors later on in the day. The day is hosted by a matchday host, who is very good, very funny and very knowledgeable. You do have a 3-course lunch, and right after lunch you're then handed out with your team sheets for the day, which have already previously been read out to you. Now, roughly about 10 minutes before the game, you are asked to make your way out to the stand. Now, you do make your way down this hallway, which does give a very football tunnel feel, and it is very well presented, and just gives a wee bit of elegance to the matchday experience. Now, as you proceed out onto your seat, the hospitality seats are just to either side of the actual main tunnel, and they are nice padded seats. So you make your way down to your nice comfy seat prior to the teams coming out onto the park. Now, today's attendance was just over 2,700. You do have the home fans at one side, and today the away fans were at the other side. Now, with the attendance for today, it did actually still give a good atmosphere, with each set of fans being directly across from each other. As the game progressed, you then do also have the option of going in at half time for a pie and a pre-ordered pint as well. Now onto the second half, again back out onto your nice comfy seats, and then after the game we do have the man of the match and a couple of other players for interviews as well. And next of all, we will have our pub review. So we will pop over to do that next with the next cut screen. So just to the left hand side of the main entrance is the stadium bar. It's very nice and well presented. The pints are sitting at £5.50 per pint. The decor, as you can see, is very Livingston FC orientated, as you would expect from the stadium bar. Overall, very nice atmosphere, good atmosphere for obviously a match day. Right guys, so now you've seen a little bit about the stadium bar at Livingston. How do we rate it? That is the most important thing that we're going to hopefully try and achieve. So, the actual beer quality itself, number one on the wheel. We'll rate that as a 4 out of 5. For the simple fact that they were nice cold pints and they were quite reasonably priced. The atmosphere, number 2, is 3 out of 5. It was a match day. Everybody that was in there at that time was going to hospitality. So it did give a good mood vibe because, let's face it, people were looking forward to the hospitality. On to number 3, the staff. Very important one for most pubs. We will rate that as a 4 out of 5. They were very friendly. Not really that much to say. We weren't in there too long. The decor, number 4. We'll rate that as a 4 out of 5. It was very clean, very modern, and nice and tidy, which is always a good, pleasing thing for the pub. And on to our last section, number 5, the extras. We will rate that as a 2 out of 5. I know it is quite low. They were just basic bar snacks. They did have football on the TVs with the Saturday soccer roundups. But to be fair, there was nothing else to do in the bar. No pool tables, no dartboards. So that is why we have rated that as a 2 out of 5. So overall, it comes in at 17 out of 25. So on our rating, we would rate that as fair. It's a good wee pub if you're nipping in for a quite quick pint pre or post match. But to be fair, you wouldn't really spend a great deal of time. And it might be very different for the locals. A lot of them might really enjoy it, but that's just how it comes in as our first pub rating, as a 17 out of 25. So we will stick that in the middle category of the block. Not great, not terrible, just that wee happy medium. Right guys, that brings us to the end of our Livingston episode. We do hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope it has given you a very good insight on what you can expect from Livingston FC, which again, highly recommend it. It was a very fantastic day out. The actual Livingston FC staff were amazing. Food was brilliant, and the overall experience for the day was just a very good day. So we hope you join us on our next episode, whatever that may be. We've not quite figured it out yet. We have had a couple of special deliveries, as you will have seen on our social media channels. As usual, you can follow us on X, TikTok, and Facebook as well. All come under Blue Collar Connoisseur, with obviously the same logo as you can see here. It is all linked on our Facebook page as well, so you can pop onto Facebook, and the links for all of our other social medias are on there as well as the YouTube channel. So again, thank you for watching. We do hope that you have enjoyed it, and we will look forward to seeing you at the next episode. So stay safe, drive safe, and be safe. Have a fantastic day, whatever day it is that you're watching, and like I say, we hope that you have a good evening.